1692 means we got shots fired at 4:15 a.m.
Marilyn Denley, identified as Stephen Paddock, the shooter's girlfriend. She is a person of interest. She's been cited as a person of interest here, and what she might or might not know about funds that were wired, presumably to someone in the Philippines. She would be the most likely, according to authorities, of tens of thousands of dollars. So the early read on all of this from former New York Police Commissioner Howard Safir. Well, Howard, just as you had told me yesterday, they're beginning to dot some I's, cross some T's, a long way from solving this, but getting inside the head of the killer and what might have motivated him and this wiring of money and back and forth. Your quick read of what you just heard.
Well, I think from what the sheriff said, I think there's some indication here that this person of interest, this female, may have had some participation in this, although he didn't say that. But I think we have a long way to go before we know what the motivation is and what her involvement is. But it just seems to me that either this person was a total lunatic or there was a lot of preparation and a lot of planning here to cause as much casualties as possible. So, you know, it's going to be a while before we actually know anything.
You know, another thing we're learning as well, and this is separately, federal investigators talking to Fox News, that this woman, Paddock's girlfriend, some of her relatives found Paddock to be unstable and increasingly so, and they were getting uncomfortable with him. That fits a pattern you and I have talked about in the past, where someone who's about to commit a crime or about to do something heinous, I mean, before that is exhibiting behavior that's obviously atypical, but in this case, a lot more than that. What do you try to piece together before the event?
Well, you know, if this individual possessed 30 or 40 long rifles and numerous handguns, and there were people interacting with him at his residences and viewed him as unstable, I mean, it's just amazing that nobody reported it to the police.
Yeah,
and,
you always, you're right
sure
about that. You always hear after the fact, oh, if only, if only, if only. In the meantime, from someone who knows about protecting people, you were the former New York Police Department commissioner, is it your sense, Commissioner, that some of the precautions some big cities are taking, particularly cities with a lot of tall buildings and a small area, New York's Times Square comes to mind, a heightened sense of that kind of urgency? In Chicago, we're told, in Boston, certainly in Las Vegas. It's understandable, but can you really do anything about the possibility someone else might try to imitate this guy or do what this guy did?
You can't cover all bases, but if you think about what happened after 9/11, you used to be able to walk into any office building in this city.
That's true.
Unimpeded. Now you go through magnetometers, X-ray machines. I saw that at the MGM Grand this morning. They started looking through luggage. They started wanding people with metal detectors. I think this is going to be the new normal. And as we discussed yesterday, until we start getting some handle on dealing with registering guns and having people be responsible for their firearms, not taking them away, but having people be responsible for them so that we know where firearms are, who has them and who should not have them, we're going to have something like this again, unfortunately, Neil.
In the meantime, we're getting reports as well that Paddock wasn't only interviewing a little bit of money to the Philippines, but maybe in excess of $100,000. Now, we're told he had some wealth through real estate. What are you trying to find out about that wired money if, for example, it wasn't going to the girlfriend?
Well, you want to find out what the purpose of it is, where the money came from. You know, what I'm sure the FBI is doing right now is looking at every person that he or his family or this woman came in contact with to see if there are any ties to any terrorist organizations, to any organized crime organizations, to any narcotic organizations. You know, it may turn out that he's just a lunatic, but it just sounds too well planned to me.
All right. Howard Safir, thank you very much. The former New York Police Department Commissioner, Howard Safir, joining us over